The next topic is about the atmosphere. In 7th standard NCRT, we are talking about the air, and I took the chapters. It's all related to the climate. I want to teach about the world climate. In order to understand the world climate, we need to know the basis. What are the basics which I have taught? First, we have learnt about the latitude and longitude. Then we spoke about the motion of the earth. And the third, now we are seeing the composition of the atmosphere, and then we will see what are the factors which influence the climate, like a temperature, a pressure, a wind and precipitation. After all these things, then we will see about the climatic condition and the natural vegetation and the world climate part. So here the chapter is 4th is talking about the air, which is the atmosphere. So what is atmosphere? Atmosphere is the huge blanket of air around the earth. We call it as the atmosphere. The composition of atmosphere is of, it contains the gases, water vapor and dust particles. So here they are talking about only the gas. What are the gases present in the atmosphere? Nitrogen, oxygen. So the nitrogen is 78 percentage and oxygen is 21 percentage and argon is 0.93 percentage and carbon dioxide is not even a 0.1 percentage, it is 0.03 percentage, and the balance are the other gases, helium, neon, like that it is also present. So the 99.93 percentage is of nitrogen, oxygen and argon, and carbon dioxide is only 0.03 percentage. Here they are talking about the greenhouse gas and the global warming. You know, carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere creates the greenhouse effect by trapping the heat radiated from the earth. So this process of gas involved, we call it as the greenhouse gas. I will explain about the detailed process in the 11th standard NCRT. So when the greenhouse gases increases, it will trap lot of heat inside the earth and it will cause global warming. So when the global warming happens, the sea level, the ice all, it will melt and the sea level will rise. When the sea level rise, it will cause floods and it will affect most of the areas, and it will also have the extreme events like hot waves, very cold region. So the extreme climatic condition will happen due to this global warming. Next we are seeing about the structure of earth. So from this is the surface of the earth. So from the surface of the earth to till 10 kilometer, we call it as troposphere. 10 to 50 kilometer, we call it as stratosphere, and 50 to 80 kilometer, we call it as mesosphere, and then 80 to 300 kilometer, we call it as a thermosphere, and then we call this one 10,000 kilometer, it's exosphere. In each book, the height will be different. It's not required to memorize these heights, you just need to know approximately. So how we are saying troposphere ends, stratosphere ends, how the next layer starts, it's all because of the passes which we have. When we go up, the temperature decreases. So like when we climb the mountain, we know the temperature decreases, but at a certain point the temperature will be constant and there will be no variation in the temperature. They call it as a pass. So the layer which has the pass, we call it as the tropopass. So once the tropopass is over, then we call it as the stratosphere, and then in the stratosphere there will be no variation in the temperature. They call it as a pass, and that pass is the stratopass. After that mesosphere start, like that all the passes will be there. So the first layer and the second layer and the corresponding layers, it's all differentiated in between by the tropopass or stratopass or mesopass or thermopass. So we don't have much information about the exosphere, so we will study about only these first 4 layers. So the troposphere is the important layer because we are living and we are feeling this troposphere. The troposphere will have this all the greenhouse gases also, and whatever we are feeling, the climate and the temperature, it's all because of the troposphere. And the stratosphere is the layer which has the ozone. This ozone is a layer. We have already studied about the ozone hole and everything, but I will detailedly explain about this in the 11th standard NCRT. So the stratosphere has ozone, and the ozone will prevent the harmful UV rays falling on the troposphere. So ozone layer is very important because UV rays will cause cancer, skin allergies, etc. Since the troposphere does not have any disturbance or the cloud or the wind, so it is the perfect climate for the flights or the helicopter to move around. And in the mesosphere we have the meteorites, so it's burn up in this layer on entering from the space. So thermosphere, this layer has the ionosphere in between them. The ionosphere is responsible for the radio waves transmission, so the communication satellite are placed here so that the radio waves are here which will help to transmit. The exosphere, as I told you, we don't have much information about this. Then we are going to study about the weather and climate. We need to know about the basic difference between the weather and climate. Every day, like every change in a day, the climate, it is changing, correct? So we call that one as not a climate, it is weather. The day-to-day changing phenomena, we call it as a weather, and to a particular period of changing thing, we call it as the climate. So there are different factors which influence the climate. First one is the temperature, then pressure, then rain, and then the wind. So temperature is measured by the thermometer. You know, temperature, it is the hot or the heatness or the coldness. And then barometer, it is about the atmospheric pressure. And then rainfall, it is measured by the rain gauge. And wind vane, it's used for measuring the wind, and it shows the flow of direction of the wind. So temperature, so the temperature, how it varies. So we studied about the earth, so the sun. So earth is here, the sun rays falls on the earth, so it is very depending upon the axis of rotation. And like we said, so it will rotate on the own axis. So when it rotates, we feel the day and night, what we studied in the last video. So like the same concept, in the daytime there will be more heat, and in the nighttime there will be less heat. So the temperature will be more because it absorbs the solar radiation from the sun, because the solar energy which has both the light and the heat. So the light is responsible for the day and night, and then whereas the heat which is responsible for the temperature of the earth. And we call the solar radiation as the insolation, that is the incoming solar radiation, they call it as the insolation. So in future I will use this term insolation. Insolation means incoming solar energy from the sun to the earth. Also we have studied like the sun which is falling will be directly on the equator or Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn, will have the more amount of the temperature, whereas when we move away from the equator towards the pole, it will be decreasing. It means the pole will have the very less temperature, that is why it is cold. And we have studied the polar region has the frigid zone. And then the next phenomena is the air pressure. So we have the different pressures. So when we go up, do you know the pressure will be less? And we need to know only one concept in here is, when the temperature is high, the air will get heated and it rises up. So when there is a temperature, so the air will get heated and it will move up. When the low pressure is associated, and it will have the low pressure. So when the temperature increases, pressure will be low, and the low pressure is associated with the cloudy sky and weather. Whereas when the temperature is low, the air is cold, so it will be heavy, it will not be able to move up, so it will be sinking around it. So there it will create the high pressure. So high pressure is associated with the clear and the sunny sky, because there won't be any air in the sky, and the bottom will have the high pressure. So from this air pressure, we need to know the basic concept. When the temperature increases, pressure will decrease, and when the temperature decreases, pressure will increase. warm air will go up and the cold air will come down. So this is the basic thing which we need to know about the air pressure. Or you can simply say temperature is indirectly proportional to pressure. So when the temperature increase, pressure will lower, and when the temperature lowers, pressure will increase. The next is the wind. Horizontal movement of air, we call it as the wind. Usually the wind flow is from high pressure area to low pressure area. So usually the wind will move from high pressure area to low pressure area so that it will equalize it. You know, the wind, which is the only factor which is responsible for equalizing the temperature or pressure, because it will move the air from low pressure area to the high pressure area. And we will detailedly study about these factors, this diagram, in the future. In the 11th NCERT we will be studying this one. First we will just know about the basic concept. There are permanent wind, that is the trade wind, westerlies and easterlies. So these are the wind which are permanent wind, which is present throughout the year, and it will have impact over this region, and I will explain you in the later slides. And there are seasonal wind. This is responsible for only having during seasons. For example, monsoon in India, we have, when the monsoon comes, there will be monsoon wind, correct? So there will be different seasons, and the season will have those prevailing winds. And there are some local winds which will be available for a particular year or particular time in a year. Usually from the land and the sea breeze it will come. So there are three types of wind: permanent wind, and then seasonal wind, and the local wind. Permanent wind will be available throughout the year. Seasonal wind, it's only available for that particular season. And local wind, it will be coming here and there. For example, in North India, they will call the temperature, there will be a wind called Lu. In that time the wind will be very dry and the temperature will be very hot. This is the basic concept about the wind. And then we have the moisture. You know what is moisture? We just need to understand the concept precipitation, and then humidity, and then rainfall. All these terminologies, it is all interrelated. Also I have missed one, that is water vapor. So when the water vapor, how water vapor comes? When the water evaporates, water vapor will come. Okay, so when the water vapor comes, so it means it's a moisture. So when the moisture in the atmosphere, we call it as the humidity. And the humidity, we will have it, and with the water vapor and the humidity and the rainfall all together, it will have the different rainfall, formation of clouds, and all these things we will see it slowly. So when the air gets warmer, its capacity to hold the water vapor increases, so it becomes more and more humid. Okay, and then on a humid day, we will not be able to like dry the clothes easily, and even we will not have any sweating. So when there is a humidity is high, it means we will not be having like we will feel very warm. We can say, we can put it like that. When there is a high humidity, we will have more warm. Humidity will be in the atmosphere. So in the atmosphere, there will be a water vapor, and on the earth's surface we will feel it very dry. So when the water vapor rises, it starts cooling, and the water vapor condenses, causing formation of droplets. So when the water vapor, when it starts cooling, it will form the droplets, and all these droplets, it will form along with the dust particles and forms the cloud. This is how the cloud is formed. When the cloud is float and it has a huge number of water, and it will come down as the precipitation. Okay, this is the concept, and there are different kinds of rainfall, and we will detailedly study about all these things. One is the conventional rainfall, relief rainfall, and cyclonic rainfall. These are the only types of rainfall which we will be detailedly studying in the future slides. Okay, thank you.